והנה יש עוד בחינת רב חסד כזה הבא ממידות רוב הגדולה בעצם כנ"ל. And there's another concept of great kindness like this that comes from the attributes of much greatness and essence, like we said. But it doesn't come from the greatness in riches and honor and the like, but only from coarseness and exaltedness in spirit alone. And like we see clearly, that there's those that give a lot, that it's not their nature to give it all in their heart. And it's not that they're very rich, but because they're haughty and exalted in their heart, they give with an open hand, because they're coarse and exalted within themselves, they lift themselves up, that they want other people to benefit from them, but only for their own honor, and only so that their name should be greatened. And this is the true opposite of the kindness of Avraham that we spoke of, Shu Barak Mitzad Habitl, that comes from nullification alone. That the person feels that they are leftover and extra, Shu Shafel Bitachlis, that are low, completely off of the Efer Canal and dust and ashes, like we said. Vainu Shorish Klip, Vainu Shorish Klippa the Yishmael, and this is the root of the Klippa of Yishmael, who comes from Avraham, Shu B'chinas Chesed the Klippa, which is kindness of Klippa, that they're giving, but it's from a bad source. V'yatz b'chinas Motaros Upsoles, b'chinas Chesed the Kedusha, and it comes out as the leftover and the dregs of the kindness of holiness, Shubichinas Chesed de Avraham Hanal, which is the kindness of Avraham. So Chesed of Avraham comes from the Rav Chesed and Gavhus, and the Chesed of Yishmael comes left over from that. And like our sages said, not like Avraham, that Yaakov was the choicest of the forefathers, and not like Avraham, who had Yishmael, or Yishmael came from him. And it's not that Yishmael has a connection and some innate presence in this attribute together with Avraham, but exactly the opposite. They are two opposites, truly. From one end to the other. This one's giving only because of humility, and this one only because of their coarse haughtiness. Only in the very body of the flow itself, in this that they're giving kindness and good. That's how Yishmael came from him, in the way of giving birth to it. And we need to understand how is it possible that can come out as a child from the opposite. But how can you give birth to your opposite in your nature, from the nature of the one who's giving the birth? From the nature of the one who's giving birth. And we can go back and preface. You can understand this by explaining the reason for this argument by the Kabbalists and this attribute of Gedulah, that the early Kabbalists, their opinion is that it's the attribute of kindness, and the later Kabbalists hold that the concept of Gedulah, of greatness, is not included in the attributes And at first glance, the mind gives this to us that the greatness is above the other attributes, like we explained at length. But we can preface one concept first that's known, and the difference between tohu and tikun, that the lights of tohu are strong lights, so to speak, with a strength and a steadfast life that comes from them, or the vitality that they have very much. The strengthening of their life force. Like it says, these are the kings. And they ruled, we call Melucha, and any ruling is in the forcefulness of the greatness of their strength, the I will be king and so forth, which the true existence, the true yesh. And that's why the lights of tohu are one under the other, like it says that he ruled under him, not in his place, because they took up, so to speak, the space, and they didn't join together. They weren't bottled. And if so, the light of the attribute of kindness that's in the lights of tohu, that comes from the greatness of the existence, it's specifically the greatness. So, like we said, that there's this kindness that comes from the greatness and exaltedness within oneself. More, I guess more like Yishmael. But the lights of tikkun, which are small in their strength and their existence, because through the nema of tikkun, they're in a state of nullification. So it's interesting that usually the oros of tohu are connected Esav, but here we're saying they're connected, and like he brought the Malchei Adam, but here we're saying that it's connected Yishmael. Because through Shema of Tikkun, the lights of Tikkun are in a state of nullification, and therefore they have the concept of inclusion one in the other. Inyan the concept of that he makes peace in his heavens, in his exalted places, like it says in another place that the Chesed and the Gevura, like Michol and Gavriel, unite together. And if so, the concept of kindness that's in the lights of tikkun, it's in a state of humility and nullification, which is like the concept of leftovers, Avraham, like we said, in the kindness of Avraham, that he gives because it's bottled. And it's known that Avraham was in a chariot to the concept of chesed of zer anpin, which is the concept of tikkun. Therefore, his attribute of kindness came from nullification, like the leftovers and dust and ashes and so forth. And that's what can gradate and come down below into the worlds of Biur. When it comes in that way. But the other kind of kindness that comes from greatness, the kind of kindness and that is in that concept of tohu, because of its great strength of the light, because it is a great light, bleak, gvul kanal, without measure, therefore it gives lo yipoli shtal shalamata klal. It does not grade it to come down at all below, ki inu lefi erech makablim klal kanal, because it is not within the it's not comparable to the receivers at all in order to get such a light. But orech, like we said at length, v'im nimshach Ohr Gadol, katan v'gadol shavin kechashech orech ulu kanal. And if the light does come down, so it's equal to the great and the small, be the like darkness like light, because it doesn't consider any of them because of its greatness and its haughtiness in itself, so it doesn't measure like that. The whole point is to give is for itself to give, and not because of its humility. And therefore the external can also get a nurturance from this, and this is the source for the kindness of the idol worshippers of the other nations. And about this it says that the kindness of nations is a sin. And our sages said that they don't do this, they only do this in order to be haughty. That this is the opposite of kindness of ma. We can say that the man who takes his sister, it's a concept of chesed, of kindness. This concept of chesed is also this chesed of tohu that we're talking about, that fell with the breaking of the vessels. Parshas So it's another concept of chesed within the shvira. Ki l'mayla, because above, the union is in a concept of open to me, my sister, and so forth. But when it fell in the breaking of the vessels, this concept is in bad completely. That is completely bad to marry one's sister. And like the falling down of the lion, to be an impure animal, even though above it's a high and holy concept of the Pnei Aryeh. And that's kindness and chesed with the having the meaning of embarrassment. Or something to be embarrassed about. So you have the bird that's called a chasidah because it's merciful, it's kind to its children, but it's a impure bird. So it has this kindness, but it's impure. It's also like a concept of chesed that comes from tohu. But from the kindness and tikkun that comes from nullification, the external that are called the mountains of separation do not have a nurturance from this at all in any way, and that's vidal, and that's enough to understand. And this is the reason of the argument of the Kabbalists. And as is known, that the early Kabbalists, until the Arizal, they only spoke of the lights in Tohu, the Shema Bilti Mugbalus Yidua, that are without boundary. They didn't speak of the Partsufim of Atzilus in the way the Arizal did, but rather the Spheros as they are on their own concepts, meaning as they are in Tohu. Shen Bebechinas Nikudos, Bechinas Ksarim Bilvad, that as they are a concept of points, the concept of crowns alone, Bilti Yesh Ben Bechinas Iskalalus Spheros, without having within them the inclusion of the spheros one and the other, Shnikra Bechinas Partsuf, which is called the countenance. And the Arizal spoke of the concept of Tikkun, which is a concept of Partsuf, Bechinas Shema da Adam, Nikra B'Shem Midos Chesed V'Din, the concept of Shema, like we said by Avraham, And that's called the attributes of kindness and judgment. Because what does it mean? A midah, an attribute, is a language of measure. Shiur, that it's measured in a measure and a boundary according to the Shema of Chachma Shubichinas Abitul Chulu, which is the concept of nullification. Al Kein Lo Nimshach Bechinas Hachesed de Tikkun Rak LeSitra de Kedusha, and therefore the kindness of Tikkun is only drawn to the side of holiness, V'lo LeSitra Acharan, and does not go to the other side. Shein Bechinas Apirud Hepech Abitul Chulu, which is the in a state of separation, the opposite of nullification. And as is known in the root of tikkun, which that it's in accordance with a measure and an end, and has boundaries. That the spheres don't extend beyond their measure, therefore they're able to unite with the others and give place to the others. And therefore, the later Kabbalists hold that the Gadol is not included amongst the attributes because this concept of greatness does not come in it with a measure and a boundary. According to Shema, because this concept comes from the lights of Tohu, which is the concept of points, that are not confined to their because of their tremendous strength, canal, like we said. That the first Kabbalists, that the early Kabbalists that are speaking about the lights of Tohu, that's why they called the attribute of Gdula kindness, and that's the concept of the kindness of Tohu that comes because of the greatness of the exaltedness within oneself, and therefore the giving comes. Vim calls Yuvan Gamkein, and from all this you can understand as well. Shorish Bechinas Chesed of the Gelulim, you can understand the kindness of the idol worshippers, the kindness of the nations. Bechinas Chesed, the Klippa Canal, the concept of kindness of Klippa, like we said, it's coming from their haughtiness of Tohu. Because the root of the soul of Avraham was a chariot to the concept of kindness of Tikkun, because his soul was from Tikkun, from the fixing, and therefore his kindness was from a state of nullification. But this that his kindness was without measure, was without boundary, we'll explain as well after this. But before he had the bris milah, he gave birth to Ishmael, whose root is above in the concept of Tohu, like all the souls of the idol worshippers, of the souls of the other nations. Only that the 7 nations in the land of Canaan and the land of Israel, they were from the leftovers of the 7 kings that did not get purified. That the concept of Tohu is a concept of purification, as it descended from one king to the other. The Oros were Nivrar, you have a concept of purification as it descends, but as you get to the bottom, so you get to the very lowest dregs, those are the leftovers of the 7 kings, those are the 7 nations of Canaan. Therefore it was commanded that no soul should live from them. When they come from the 7 kings in the land of Edom, from the harsh strictnesses of the kings of Edom. So when you get the harsh strictnesses, I guess it's like you go below the midos, to the harshest gvuros. Which is not the case with the kindness of Ishmael. It did not fall below so much, like the 7 nations, the Biur, and he has a purification. And that's why Avraham asked if only Ishmael would live in front of you. Like it's explained in another place that this that fell from kindness, from Tohu, only fell into the Klippas Noga and not into the 3 impure Klippos, and that which fell from the Gvura of Tohu fell all the way into the 3 completely impure Klippos that are below the Klippas Noga, like it says in Zohar about Yishmael that he dwelled upon all his brothers, that you have. So what does it mean? Pnei kol echav, the countenance of all of the brothers. You have countenance that you are marchik, that you push away. And the lower countenance, that's the countenance of Yishmael. These are like the Arizal writes. So you have the concept of echav, I guess his brothers. But it's, I guess the concept is that you have the panim elyonim and you have the panim tachtonim. The chesed of Yishmael is still within Klippas Noga. It still has a certain concept of panim. And above, in the lights of tohu. So the concept of kindness is comes from the greatness of the divine greatness, the concept of existence and holiness, which is that Hashem says, I will be king over you. I will have an existence as a king, so to speak, over creation. So that essential existence and haughtiness of Hashem, when that fell down, Yishmael, so Yishmael came from that, Bechinas Chesed de Klippa, the concept of kindness of Klippa, that is the kindness that comes from haughtiness and coarseness of spirit alone, like we said. And even though Avraham himself was from the concept of tikkun, Avraham or Avraham, as is known when you explain Avraham as the limb of what? Of Chachma. That he was the Aver, like the concept of the flow of the limb, but it was a flow of bittul of Chachma, like his bris milah. And that is like when he had a bris milah, he gave that to himself. So it's a concept of a limb that gives flow, but the milah represents how you're nullifying yourself to Hashem. That it's a flow that's nullified, coming from bittul. Shenatosif bo hey be Avraham, that you add the hey to Avraham bechinas hey chasadim titikun. These 5. The gematria of hey that's added to his name are the 5 kindnesses of tikkun, instead of being Avraham, the exalted father, that isn't giving hashpah in this way. Which is not the case before he had the milah. And so too, when it says that Yishmael was Yotzeh from Avraham, it means that he separated himself from him, from his concept. And the reason for this is that because of the greatness of the level of the light of kindness that comes from Gedula, from this greatness, of Keser. It cannot descend and being clothed in the gradative process, because the concept of the attribute of Gedula is not drawn down into the gradative process, Mida Kanal, because it's not an actual attribute like the Midos of Tikkun. Therefore, it doesn't give flow in the normal way, but so to speak, gives arbitrarily to everyone equally and without a process. And that's why when it descended all the way to the bottom, not through the normal channels. It's a concept of complete haughty existence of Yishmael. Because in the sight of holiness, it cannot be enclosed within it, only it can go below it, so to speak, to the very bottom. That's where haughtiness can exist, below the, so to speak, below the holiness, not in its space. And the likeness to this is the known concept that the lion above is from the impure animals and the ox is from the pure animals, and above in their source in the supernal chariot, the countenance of the lion is on the right side from the side of kindness, and the face of the ox is on the left side. But below it switches that it's like the opposite. The line is the gvura and the short is like the chesed. And how is it possible to say how is it possible that above it's the countenance of the lion to the right side, and below it's an impure animal? But the concept is that that's the very reason that since the root of the lion above is very high, therefore as it descends below to be enclosed, it cannot be enclosed in the side of purity, only in the side of impurity, all the way on the bottom. Because the concept of the countenance of the lion is this tremendous love with a very strong greatening, an awesomeness, more than the concept of the strength that's within kindness. Because our sages said you have to be strong like a lion, not like a regular strength. So we see that the nature of the essence of the lion is the concept of strictnesses or strengths. And we know that the concept of the countenance of the lion is on the right side, with the concept of kindnesses. But we're talking here about the concept of kindness, which comes with a tremendous strength, like the tremendous strength of the kindness of Tohu, which, like we said, it is this very strong life force with an existence for itself, similar to the chesed of Yishmael, which is in the Bechinas Yeshus. It's a very self-centered, strong kind of chesed. And therefore, this light cannot come down in the normal order of things. The concept of tikkun in the sight of holiness. which comes through Shema, which is a concept of nullification. Al Kain Kishanafal Amata Mislab Shrak Bechinas Tamea, and therefore as it descends below and it falls down below, it only is enclosed in the concept that's impure, Vuhu Ha'ari Hagashmi, and that's the physical lion. Masha'inkin Bechinas Pnei Shor, which is not the case with the countenance of the ox, Bechinas Hagvura, Shinu Betokef Kol Kach, which is a concept of strength, which is not quite as within its own strength, or a tokef, stalwartness of strength, as much. Therefore, it can descend down to be in a pure animal. And that's the physical ox. But it's still in the concept of oros to toes, so it comes down to the klippas noga, which can be elevated. And similarly, you can understand in the root of the concept of the kindness of Yishmael, that his root is in the concept of the kindness of Tohu, because of his tremendous strength of the light that he comes from. It cannot be enclosed in the sight of holiness. Only in the concept of Yishmael, the concept of a complete existence for himself, without bittul, all the way on the bottom below the, similar to how the line becomes tamei all the way on the bottom. And look what's brought about this in the concept of that I am black and beautiful, b'torah or Megabe Purim b'dibur maskil yata vayavinu chulu dafkuf nun vav amud beis ketzer Inyan od bechinas chesed. So we talked about the other concept of kindness al derech gedula, like the gedula akshu mashin nafal b'shviras sakelim, only that it fell down in the breaking the vessels, in the filas aha aryeh, like the falling down of the lion bechinas pnei aryeh el hayamin, that came from the supernal chariot of the right, the lion, the countenance of the lion to the right side. Avraham shiazimimenu Ishmael. We talked about how Ishmael came from Avraham, separated from him, and from the lights of Tohu, even though Avraham was from Tikkun. V'shviras hakelim hainu ma'olam hatohu, and the breaking of the vessels, that is from the world of Tohu. Shaya gamkin bebechinas gedula chulu, that is also, that came from the concept of gedula. And we talked about that's what the earlier Mikabalim were talking about, and within the context of the lights of Tohu without Partsufim, whereas the Arizal and so forth talked about the Oros as they are in Tikkun. And that's also the concept of the kindness to the nations is a sin, because it's coming from this concept of Chesed of Yishmael. When we talked about how a man takes his wife, it's a kindness. It comes from this level of kindness of Tohu, which is also an embarrassment because it's a Yeshus and so forth. And he mentioned the Chasidah as well.